Holiday season is here, and the guitar world seems like something that's extremely difficult to shop for, which is absolutely true. So by using this video, you can find easy gifts to give to another guitarist or a guitarist if you are on the outside of the guitar world. And I'm going to break it down into whether a gift is actually useful, if it's fun, if the price is reasonable or low, and if there's any risk and difficulty in getting the item, such as choosing the right colors, choosing the right sound, etc. With that criteria in mind, we're going to move to a few very easy things first, while the last few are going to be something you probably wouldn't have thought of. And the first one will be a large bundle or pack of guitar picks. Obviously, this will be better if you ask which ones your friend actually likes, and odds are they probably like some of these Tortex ones or just some of the other general popular ones. But if you ask, the difficulty is a 1, not difficult at all. If you don't ask, the difficulty is probably like a 4. The price, you can kind of range it from like 12 to 30 to 60, depending how much you like the person, which is going to land it at about a 3. And for fun, it's going to be extremely boring, but it's absolutely necessary, and you can't have fun without picks. So I'll default it to a 3. But for usefulness, assuming you get one that's just halfway decent or halfway preferred by your friend, it is easily an 8, which brings the total to a bundle of guitar picks to 18 out of 40, which makes it a decent gift. Another frequent gift I've seen to guitarists is just wires like these. And this is a much more dangerous play than you would think. One, people not in the guitar world, you might accidentally order the right wire. So make sure both ends look exactly like this. But the complication is going to come in to either the price range and how difficult it is to buy the proper one for someone. For usefulness, again, defaulting to 8. It's useful, but very replaceable. For fun, it's the exact same thing. Super boring, but it's a necessity, so you can't knock it all the way down. And the price is going to be something very interesting. Obviously, the longer the thing, the more expensive, extremely reasonable. But when you get a name brand like Fender, they're going to be very, very overpriced. If you get one like this, that's kind of some other more boof company, the wire might break a month earlier. I haven't noticed a quality difference. Some people say it's there. I don't think it is. So if you buy something a little off-brand, it is like almost twice as cheap sometimes. So doing that, the price can be like a 3, but if you go for a Fender one, the price gets like to a 6 or 7 based on the thing you're buying. So we'll even it out at a 5. And the risk and difficulty you would think would be a 1. It's just a wire. Most people like them dark or in black. So as long as you go there, very safe route. If you try to get fun with it, you might give them something unusable. So we'll keep it at a 3, which will land this common gift at a 19, which is just slightly better than guitar picks. And if you're on a quest to just get your guitarist friend one of these super common gift ideas that I'm starting with, you really need to pay attention to this because it's going to be a strap. The usefulness is obviously the same as the other two. We'll default it at an 8. For fun, it is super not fun, but there's a couple ways you can make it fun that we'll get into later. The price, you are paying for what you are getting sometimes. More comfortable straps are going to have an extra tax on them, and that is okay because it's 100% worth it, keeping the price reasonability at a 3. But what really separates this is going to be the risk and difficulty. If you're good at design, you have to look at their guitar and look at a strap that matches, just like my friend did for this one for me, which can really make the fun go through the roof. And it was very low risk knowing that it actually matched. So as long as you use some color matching skills and maybe try to be a little unique, you can make this about a 6 and can really kind of change some subtle touches to a guitar setup that they might not actually be thinking about, but their difficulty is a 6. Because if you don't understand some things about comfort and you cheap out, it's going to be rough. Which actually brings this common gift total to a 23, making it so far the best frequent guitar gift. But will it outmatch this next one we have coming up, which is going to be guitar strings? These are something you must ask for, because if you don't, I really doubt you're going to get the right ones unless they use these very basic standard issue ones that are semi-hard to go wrong with. But without asking, you are almost likely going to get it wrong, which is why I don't recommend this gift and why the difficulty is going to make it a 1. This is going to be rough. But assuming you do get the right ones, the price is pretty nice and it'll score around an 8. As long as you're not getting some super treated ones, very reasonable. For fun, if you get the right strings, it's going to be a fun gift. If you don't, you're just going to throw them. So they get a 5, but the usefulness is going to go to that defaulted 8. It's fun, it's useful. Just make sure you ask, even if it spoils the gift. It's not worth giving shitty strings for, trust me. And guitar strings are going to score a 22 on our scale, which kind of wraps up the super common parts. And now we're going to get into some gifts that are more on the unique side that they may or may not be expecting. The first unexpected gift is going to be this capo that also doubles as a phone stand. It might seem like that'll distract you while you're practicing. Maybe if you use it to watch Netflix or YouTube. However, what it's really intended for is to use guitar tabs, which if you don't live under a rock, is what you are using your phone for while you're playing. It can be extremely easy to look at your guitar neck instead of looking over at a board or using a music stand. And it also just works as a capo, which is nice. It's a nice dual feature. The usefulness will score a 9. The fun, a lot of people don't really expect to get this. I would say it is a 7. Price-wise, semi-reasonable, little pricey for a capo, which is going to give it about a 3. And the risk/difficulty is almost next to none. Capos are going to be usable whether they don't use their phone on it or not. And that extra just utility of adding your phone, which can also be used as a tuner when you have it right there, is just going to make it an 8. Very hard to mess up. And our first unique gift is going to be scoring a 27, already washing the others away. But will the next unique gift actually be better than some frequently gifted guitar gifts? And this one is going to be pedals. The reason this isn't frequent is because a lot of people are scared away from doing it unless you tell them the exact pedal you want. But getting someone a surprise pedal can be a very good experience on both ends, and it's actually less risky than you think. Most guitarists like myself, even if the pedal is bad quality, it's still fun to mess around with. And if you grasp some super unique sound you can use on a solo, you're just gonna keep it. And sometimes the box can look really cool for some people that are collectors. So if you get a random cheap pedal, even like a frog pedal that's absolutely stupid, a guitarist will actually find enjoyment out of it for a short to long period of time. That's where luck is going to get involved. So the risk and difficulty is actually a 5 and not really a 2 or 3 like many would expect. And the price is really just going to be what you take. The lower the cost, the riskier it is. The higher the cost, probably stupider it is to not know what they want if you're going to spend that much money. So the price is also going to match it at a 5. And for fun, as long as you don't get a terrible drive pedal, there's going to be a lot of fun to be had just messing around with the pedal, seeing how it interacts with amp tone, guitar tone, pedal tone, and just making some really cool stuff, get some Rage Against the Machine action going on. The fun is easily an 8. The useful is going to range, and we're going to give it about a 7 because they will almost always have some type of utility to use. The more it costs, the more likely it is to be utilized well. And this is going to actually score it at a 25, which is still higher than every other frequently gifted item. So the common theme we're starting to see is these less commonly gifted items to guitarists are actually what's better, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with price, but will this trend continue over the last 2 unique guitar gifts? The next one is going to be a pair of studio headphones. I know, plugging your headphones into an amp seems like a very anti-guitarist thing to do, but depending on your setting, it could just actually be really nice to plug your headphones in and not play it out and annoy people. It kind of gets the best of both worlds, and these studio grade headphones like Audio-Technica's or Sony's have really nice quality you can use when you're just listening to music on your computer. If you're also making music with your guitar, it is super useful on those softwares. This is why this gift is a sneaky upside for both people that get it. And the risk and difficulty scores a 7. It's very hard to get the wrong headphones, and most people will appreciate it for the guitar and other musical aspects. The price is going to land at a 3, as they will break the bank, but they are worth the money they're worth. And for fun, again, you can have silent fun, and there's a lot of other things you can do with headphones. I think that deserves them to be a 7. And of course, useful, we're breaking out of just a guitar world with this one, so I think it scores our first 10 in any category, which is actually going to score it as a 27, our current leader in gifts. And as we see, the trend is continuing into our last gift that many guitarists wouldn't expect to get, but would most likely appreciate. And this one is going to be guitar cleaning supplies. A lot of guitarists aren't actually properly equipped with the right stuff. There's certain fretboard sprays with lemon oil that are really important. You want to use like steel cloth top. You want to use steel wool cloths. There's a lot of little things that you can look up and find the answer for and go and buy, and they're actually pretty damn cheap. There's also these couple little tools you can get if you know they don't have them. But either way, getting these supplies is super helpful because one, steel wool cloths do go bad after some use. A fresh can of the oil is never going to be bad and allows for better cleaning. And if you're a guitarist that knows about this stuff, you will know the best brands to buy without having to use Google. And I think this gift is going to get a 7 in the usefulness. Guitarists who don't take as good of care as your guitar do not actually understand the amount of influence this will have on their sound and playing ability. For fun, it isn't fun, which is why it's useful. And the price is going to be a 8 because it's very cheap for what it is. And the risk and difficulty is about a 6. The chances they already have this is somewhat. Most people don't expect to get it. And if you just do a little dodgy question, you can really see if they have it or not, which will score at a 24. Still better than all the frequently gifted things. So by leaning towards these more unique guitar gifts, you're going to impress the person you're giving them to, and they're actually going to turn out to be a better gift in most scenarios. And one final disclaimer is buying a new guitar or new amp is something you should always ask first if you're going to break that money, but will always be appreciated. And on behalf of every guitarist, go gift them that. And if you're not going to do that, go gift one of these unique things. If you think one of the more frequently bought things is better, go do that. And of course, if you want to learn guitar, subscribe for more content, or subscribe to learn guitar faster than anywhere else on the internet.